So here's the question we're going to ponder today. Is free speech really free? In the United States, they say yes, unless you're screaming fire in a crowded theatre. In Australia, the answer is, well, mate, it's a bit complicated. So, today, we're diving into how free speech works in America compared to here in Australia. And given recently what's happened in relation to the death of Charlie Kirk, this is an issue that we all must consider. Now, what I'm going to look at is why one country treats it like an open bar, while the other hires a bouncer to keep things relatively civil. Welcome everybody to the Tony Tompkins Show, where facts matter. And because facts matter, you matter as well. We hear the phrase free speech tossed around all the time. Politicians invoke it, activists demand it, commentators weaponize it. But here's the catch. Free speech doesn't mean the same thing everywhere. Now, in the United States, that's the land of the First Amendment, remember, their constitution flat out prohibits the government from restricting speech. That means political speech, satire, protests, flag burning. It's all fair game. Even hate speech is protected, unless it's directly inciting imminent violence. You can literally stand on a street corner and say vile things, and the government can't touch you. Defamation, in America, public figures like Trump or Biden or any other political leader face a very high bar to sue. The courts lean heavily towards protecting free expression. And as we well know, the Supreme Court has actually ruled that it is, if you're a president, it's kind of okay. In short, free speech in the US is almost absolute. It's messy, it's loud, and it's protected at almost all costs. We don't have a Bill of Rights in Australia, that is, and here we don't have a Bill of Rights. No explicit free speech clause. Instead, the High Court has found an implied freedom of political communication, basically because we vote. We need to be able to talk about politics, and we do have compulsory voting, so in a sense, most of us vote. So yes, you can criticise the Prime Minister, you can argue policy, you can debate the government's actions. But the protection is narrow. It's not a personal right like in the US. It's more like a rule that stops the government from muzzling political debate. Outside of that, Australia comes down hard. Hate speech laws, much tougher than America. Defamation, far stricter. Journalists get sued regularly. Even everyday Facebook comments can land people in court. Obscenity, vilification, national security, all are grounds for legal action. So while we have more freedom than, say, China, we're definitely not as unrestrained as the United States. So here's, I guess, the best way to think about it. In America, free speech is like an open bar. Everyone's welcome, everyone's shouting, singing, ranting and swearing. The government just shrugs and lets the party run. In Australia, it's more like a pub with a bouncer. You can have a say, you can crack a joke, you can argue with the bartender, but if you get too offensive, defamatory or start stirring up hate, the bouncer shows you the door. And honestly, a lot of our Aussies are okay with that. I think we are. We value a fair go and community harmony more than absolute no limits expression. So we want harmony. We don't want this open slather that they seem to get in the United States. So this is where the politics really diverge. In the US, free speech is almost a sacred religion. They'll defend the right to be offensive because they believe that once you start banning speech, no one is safe. In Australia, free speech is important, but it's balanced against harm. The idea is your right to say something ends where someone else's dignity begins. That's an important point, I think. Now, is one approach kind of better than the others? Well, the US model protects liberty, but it also protects harmful disinformation, hate speech and conspiracy theories. It's why the culture war over there is so explosive and unfortunately entering Australia too. Australia's model keeps things calmer, but at a cost. Powerful people use defamation laws to silence critics. Media outlets pull punches because they're afraid of lawsuits. And sometimes that means the truth struggles to get out. So my question to you is, which system do you prefer? Do you want the chaos of the American open bar where you might hear some pretty toxic rubbish, but everyone gets the say? Or do you prefer the Aussie pub with the bouncer where people can speak up but only within limits? I ask you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and I want to know where you stand on this, because here in Australia this is becoming a primary issue. We have doxing laws, and I want to talk about this at some point, about how we control hate speech in this country and how doxing can become a real problem. And I want to do a post on that later, so stay tuned for that. But I do say, please subscribe, let me know what you think. Leave the thoughts down below. I certainly want to know where you stand on this particular issue. And remember, folks, you matter and facts matter.